the insanity that was this Magi chapter. Going into the final arc, I mean, it feels like we've been waiting ages for this 282, but finally getting this chapter that is leading into a time skip at that Magi's been desperately needing and we've been desperately craving. So one of the things I noticed is Judar and Alibaba apparently don't have no idea what's going on. They think that they're coming back and like the war is going to be going, but in reality at the same time they also realize by the time we get back this fucking war is going to be completely over. There's no way in 2 years they're still going to be going. So they're going to have a huge radical shock when they get back. And at the same time it's kind of troublesome because I'm wondering when Alibaba does get back, what's going to happen with him? Is he just going to be in that spirit form forever? Because in 2 years, even if they somehow saved his body, unless like they did some sort of crystallization or some shit or freezing his body, ultimately Alibaba's body is gonna either A, if they haven't burnt it up already, like, you know, burn it up, turn it into ashes, so to speak, then his body's gonna decompose. So unless they found some way to preserve his body until like, you know, further notice, which I kind of would feel a little bit like, why would you know, you had no idea he was coming back. So that could very well be the case, but if not, what the fuck is gonna happen with Alibaba when he does get back? How is he gonna get his body back? How is he gonna be able to fight people and use his Jin equip and all that other shit? And then what's gonna happen with Judar's character when he gets back? Seemingly, you know, everything is over now, and Hakuryu's character has changed drastically from what he was when him and Judar were like, you know, devils and buddies forever and shit like that, BFFs. It's like now Hakuryu is kind of more so like, I'm going to protect the things that I actually care about, what I've been entrusted to, you know, my country, my people. I'm going to do the right thing this time. When Judar gets back, if Judar hasn't had the character development, which I think he should have it at this particular point, roughing it out there and kind of being around Alibaba, maybe he might have wisened up a little bit, but if he hasn't, then it's going to be a conflict because Hakuryu is going to be on some like, you know, I'm not as evil as I used to be. I'm not fucked up. I got my revenge, blah, blah, blah. Judar's going to be like, war. So they might not even be cool anymore. It might be like, yo, my broski's gone, bruh. And Aladdin and Yunnan have a very good reason to feel anxiety towards Sinbad. Pretty much it's kind of interesting because I'm curious where the events are going to go in 2 years time, where the conflict will begin again, because if the world's been united, there really politically is no way for Sinbad to come out justified with starting any shit. If everybody is all together or whatever, then how is Sinbad going to come out and do anything without looking like a complete dick? And we know that's not Sinbad's style, that's not his stilo, so to speak, to come out and say, I'm an asshole, everyone, fucking look at me. So he's going to have to be very strategic in a sense of like, you know, getting rid of, because I think at this particular point, the only thing left is that he wants to be the complete conqueror of everything. So in order to do that, he would have to basically like take Hakuryu out the picture, because right now Hakuryu was just like plain king, but in actuality, Sinbad wants to rip that crown off his head and say, I'm the supreme king of everything. So he's going to have to be very slick about how he goes about doing it. And then that ending, pretty much like we all thought, Arba cannot be defeated. I don't know what it's going to take to get rid of that woman, but you got rid of Gyokuin's body, but there was still Hakuei's, and a lot of questions come into play and everything with Sinbad. One of the things that I love though about them kind of admitting to each other, forget the fact that Sinbad was a beast and he already knew about Hakuei being Arba all this time and kind of was on to her this entire time, but he was like, no, don't get it mistaken. I am Sinbad. I am me. I am not David. I've been doing things on my own accord, which it could be a little bit of stubbornness. It could be that he doesn't even know, unbeknownst to him, that David has been pulling strings. He just doesn't realize it. Maybe David has been slowly creeping into his conscience, but I just love that he's a beast, that he's like, it ain't David here, bitch. Like, I ain't David. I was reincarnated as Sinbad, motherfucker. I am him. And I gotta make you wonder, because I don't, to my knowledge, remember seeing a scene ever of Hakuei and Gyokuin being in the same fucking room. Maybe I'm mistaken or whatever, but I'm curious, maybe the real Hakuei, if she was ever real, was killed long ago, and Gyokuin's been doubling as Hakuei and Gyokuin, because they look very, very similar. I mean, Gyokuin looks young as fuck anyway, or looked young as fuck. So what if this entire time there's only been one person that's been pretending to be Hakuei and Gyokuin? Like, the bitch is a mad woman. You can't fucking put it past her. But aside from that, it makes you wonder, like, how the fuck did she take Hakuei's body now? Was that always implanted? Something like, in case shit goes down, I'll just take this bitch's body? Was Hakuei all along Gyokuin in disguise as well? Like, a lot of questioning. Or is it just that her genes were very similar to the Arba that was on Almataran, so she was able to easily infest into her body, opposed to like any other random person? So they gotta make you wonder as well, if she can infest this Gyokuin woman, you know, take over her body, and then do the same thing to Hakuei, could she go and take over Hakuryu's body? Like, is it because of the genes of that entire family? Is it something that she set up? Why is she able to take these bodies in particular? I hope that gets explained. And it's interesting to see, but it's not far-fetched at all, that Arba now loves David, because remember, she was always obsessed with Il Ela. Il Ela, Il Ela, oh please come inside of me, Il Ela. Okay, let me stop. But to see that she's pretty much like fallen in love, so to speak, with David, is not really love, whatever, but like she's worshiping him at this particular point, is because of Il Ela, and he's become one. So anything that is Il Ela, she's gonna be infatuated with. And to see Gyokwen be manhandled like the way she was from Sinbad fucking hitting her and throwing her like, yo, you either gonna follow me completely, fuck all that Althamen bullshit, or a no-go. And she's like, yes, I'll do anything. It's like so fucking weird. Like, I think now, because of David's close connection to Il Ela, she doesn't give a fuck and she'll follow him because she feels like she's following Il Ela. Little does she know, she's being manipulated because Sinbad don't give a fuck. Sinbad's trying to do shit his way, and I'm like, just curious, where is Sinbad going with all this? What is his ultimate goal? Is it just to be supreme ruler? Is it that he wants something even further? He doesn't give a fuck about the Althamen bullshit, and I think to a certain degree there's still that good person in Sinbad. I mean, no man that is completely fucking evil is going to sit there and question even the people around him, the closest people to him, and say, like, when he asked Jafar way back when, have I become a devious man? So there's still some good in Sinbad, but maybe the things that he want to do is ultimately going to be something along the lines of like the Amaterasu arc, one of the most deepest arcs in manga history. I don't give a fuck if you hated it or you didn't like it. Ultimately, what if it's going to be a case of like what Sinbad's doing is not necessarily evil, but it just feels like a different choice than what you would do. Maybe ultimately Alibaba and Aladdin and them, they're gonna have to stop him, but at the same time of questioning themselves, because a lot of Magi, the themes kind of always make you question, like, is this person necessarily bad for what they're doing? So I'm just fucking curious. And it was a nice touch as well to see the finalists. They're like, woo, 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 when Judar and Alibaba were flying by on the dragon, and 2-year time skip incoming. And I'm curious if we're ever going to see, because one of the things is Morgiana going back to the homeland and whatnot with the finals or whatever. Is we actually going to ever see that? Is that going to be shown in the manga? Is she ever going to return home? Or was that the only time we're really going to see? Like, I'm curious what's going to happen. Maybe in the 2 years, Morgiana will finally go back to her homeland and train there and then come back and be a beast, because I know in these 2 years it's going to be some amazing shit. And I'm going to have a full-on video talking about what I want from the final arc in Magi and the time skip or whatever. But like, it's just fucking insane. I didn't think we'd be here this soon, but final fucking arc. In this chapter, the revelation that Arba and Sinbad basically working together now, the fucking evil that's coming, a 2-year time skip, great fucking chapter and a great finale to the Co-Empire arc. Honestly, it's just like, fucking love Magi. This was amazing. Like, the only thing that you could argue is like, okay, what's gonna happen with Alibaba's body? That's something that's definitely a little troublesome. Like, is he gonna have no body to come back to? The only thing I can think of is if they found a way to preserve his body, and Aladdin says something like, oh, I never completely doubted you that you weren't gonna come back, so I did this just in case. And what do you guys think? Is Judar and Hakuryu gonna be able to roll again? Or since Hakuryu's character has changed quite a bit since this time, is it like gonna be that they're not gonna be able to be cool anymore? And Judar, is he gonna have developed and not want to do war and all this other shit? Or is he gonna be the same way when he gets back? Gotta make you wonder, why would Alibaba bring this motherfucker back unless he has some sort of hopes for him to be a decent person? Because otherwise, why would you bring this menace back into this world? Personally, I would have left the motherfucker out to, you know, dry. Fuck you. And how is it that Gyokwen's able to take on yet another body? Was there only one person to begin with Gyokwen and Hakuei? That's why we never really seen them together. Was there only one person to begin with? Gyokwen and Hakuei were like one person? Because there's a lot of questions. And your overall thoughts going into the final Magi arc with the time skip. I think it's going to happen later this month, and I can't fucking wait. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm Finub World, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Yet again, 9 out of 10 for this great-ass chapter in this finale to the Co-Empire arc. That Magi greatness, people.